Well, hello and welcome to our second video on our series on the church. And again, my name is Brian. I'm the associate pastor here at Calvary Chapel, Mission Viejo. Needless to say, we live in amazing days, chaotic days, days of uncertainty, days like I have never seen in my lifetime. And it seems like our culture has been stressed like I have never seen it before. And consensus and unity seems more and more challenging to find. And what's true in the culture as a whole, it seems to have seeped into the church, where who we are as a church and our unity as a church seems to be getting more and more frayed. There is no lack of opinions with regard to what's the right way to do church during a time like this with pandemic. And the reality is that there is going to be no one way forward that satisfies all people. So how do we navigate this? And let me just say, first of all, that our church leadership is working very hard to firstly and foremostly listen for the Lord's still small voice. While we can learn things about what other churches are doing, reality is we are trying to listen very intently for what He is saying to us and what He wants for us as a church. That said, at the same time, we are also trying to spin various plates. Plates like love and wisdom, plates like safety and submission, discernment and care. And at times it can feel like these issues are in competition with one another. And the reality is that as we get closer to moving back into weekly services starting in September outside, the reality is that there is going to be no decision that we can make that is going to make everybody happy. No one decision that's going to please all people. In thinking through this, I was reminded of Jesus' prayer the night before he was crucified. John 17 records at least some of the content of his prayer. And it's interesting that not only did he pray, but it's interesting to see what he prayed for. Jesus prayed for his disciples, and he said it was for the disciples who were with him, but also the disciples that were to come, and which includes you and me. And part of his prayer was for unity, and this is what he said. He prayed that they, meaning his disciples, may be perfected in unity, so that the world may know that you, his Father, sent me and loved them even as you have loved me. To me, it's a fascinating prayer. That Jesus would specifically pray for the unity of his church. And what that does not mean is that every person will agree on every decision all the time. That's just not going to happen. What it does mean is that there is a love-centered unity that flows from our life with Jesus, and it's a deeper unity that transcends the things on the surface. And this unity that Jesus talks about is more than theoretical. It's a unity that is observable. It's a unity that is noticeable. Jesus specifically said that it's a unity that would be seen by the world so that the world may know. And again, while there may be disagreement on some things within the church, what Jesus is praying for is a unity that causes those lesser disagreements to fade into the background, that we would live into this greater sense of being united in Christ on bigger things. So in the midst of what's going on, especially as we get closer to starting weekly church services, hopefully we as a church can focus on those bigger issues of love and unity that we have in Christ. And if we lift our eyes high enough, and I do believe that we need to do that, and it's an intentional act on our part, to lift our eyes above the newspapers and the television updates and remember Christ who is enthroned, the Jesus who controls our life. That if we do that, we can live into this life together with all of its complexities and all of its challenges. And that doesn't mean that people can't voice opinions or disagreements, but hopefully we choose to focus on bigger issues and really far more important issues such as our identity in Christ, issues like the Great Commandment, and issues like the Great Commission. And we're going to be talking about these over the next 3 video sessions, so hope you come back and take a look at those as well.